everyone, welcome to today's vlog. I forgot to record this intro for this vlog, unfortunately, so we're gonna get right into it. It is pretty much about a book tour of my bookshelf. So just to let you all know, and I do apologize, I accidentally deleted the vlog of the beginning, so I don't think it had anything to do with the book tour anyway. This video was recorded longer than I thought, so that's why it took an entire vlog. So I hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Today I am finally going to talk about my bookshelf. It's been about a month coming. I've been talking about this for a while, and I don't know how to really go about this. So, I guess I'll start out with my reading journey. So, I was never really a big reader growing up, like, at all. So then around, I would say my junior year of high school, maybe senior year, I started to read again. I actually started reading Twilight. That shows my age. So that was in 2011, 2012, I was reading Twilight. And then I finished that. And then I got my first Kindle. Like my very first Kindle. It was the first edition of the Paperwhite, by the way. That shows my age. Like once again, that shows my age. So I finished the last book, which is Breaking Dawn on my Kindle. That's just a core memory that I have, by the way. So I also, during that process as well, I was also reading Hunger Games. Those were my two favorite series growing up. I kind of still watch I still watch the movies from time to time, and I just binge it all. Very excited for Sunrise on the Reaping, by the way. I'm very, very, very excited. Surprisingly enough, I don't have the Twilight books and the Hunger Games series on my bookshelf anymore. I used to, but not anymore. I donated everything. So, I also flipped back in between of, like, sort of like biographies or like autobiographies. I know, very strange. But I read, like, Trevor Noah's book, if you know, he's a comedian, South African comedian. I also read a woman wrestler. Her name was AJ Lee. I read her book. That was very informative. I really enjoyed a look into her mental health struggles of her growing up, and also her time in WWE. Really, I was very curious about it. And my husband actually met her at a bookstore with his sister, and unfortunately couldn't afford to get my book signed, so I donated my books, like everything. And also another big author that I was reading. This was in, like, adulthood. I would say I was, like, 18, 19 growing up. Like, 18, 19, I started to read books by Ellen Hopkins. She's known for really realistic fiction books. A lot of her books talked about, like, addiction, like, teenage pregnancy. It was, like, talking about, like, gun control. It was, like, very informative. I recommend her books if you want to read stuff like that. But I wanted to move on. I finished her last book that I read was Fallout, I believe. Yeah, that was in 2024 I finished. And I was on my TikTok page, on my crochet account, and I was getting books recommended to me. So, I started finishing a series that I started out years ago as well. The first book was named Shiver, I believe. And then it was Linger, Forever. Then there's, I forgot what the other books are, but it's pretty much a werewolf, like, romance. Because I was a big Jacob fan from Twilight, and I really wanted something to do with werewolves, so I picked up that. And apparently the author is known for another book series called The Raven Boys. I have no idea what that is. So I really had some experience with young adult, but my first adult books I actually read, I was a senior in high school, and that was 50 Shades of Grey. And I picked that up. No one ID'd me or anything. I was like 17 or 18 at Walmart just picking it up, and it was like one of the first books I think I picked up when I first got my license, by the way, at 17 or 18, I don't remember. My mom found out that I was reading, and she's like, just don't tell your dad. I'm like, okay. It was inevitable. I was 17, 18. She couldn't really stop me at that point, so I read all 3 books. So I didn't really understood the concept of what was going on. But now as an adult, I'm 31 years old now, and I sound really old. Ew. So let's go back to September 2024, as I just finished like my YA journey, and I wanted to move on to my first adult book, which is on my shelf. My very first book that I read was Fourth Wing. This was my first book that I read on my adult reading journey, adult book content, and it was very eye-opening for me. Like very, very eye-opening for me. The story was very good. It would also just remind you that I was very inexperienced in the reading world, at all. Like, I didn't really know what I wanted. I just was like, you know what, this is popular, I'm gonna try it. And it turned out to be a very big obsession for a month and a half. I actually listened to the audiobook first, and I was like, wow, this is great. I was not expecting the spice that it had. The spice as in, like, sexual content, if you don't know what that means. And even though there's only, like, 2 scenes in it, it's like, wow. It was very eye-opening for me. So then, literally, once I got done reading Fourth Wing, I was like, there's a second book, I'm gonna read it. And then I bought the hardcovers. So, yeah, I was obsessed with those for about a month. Yeah, that was all I read. I couldn't focus on anything else, but those were pretty much the first things that I have read. Yeah, I'm gonna show you like a close-up of all the books that I have, but that was like a big eye-opening thing. And then the second series that I read, I finished Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I have the paperback version, and I also have the special edition of Fourth Wing, and also with Iron Flame. I only have the special edition of Onyx Storm, which came out almost a year ago. Amazing. So, I guess I'll go over what my shelf. I'm gonna try and just get a little bit closer. There we go. Yeah, you're on my tripod right now. This is my tripod. Okay. So up here is manga. I'm gonna do like a close-up shot of my shelves, but this up here is manga. I only have My Hero Academia on there. Only volumes 1 through 26 right now. I know there's like over 40 right now, but I had more manga, but I was running out of shelving space. So I actually gave a portion of my manga collection to my husband. He has his own manga collection as well. So he has an entire shelf of my inherited manga, and also manga that he buys himself. So on this shelf is adult fantasy. On this second shelf is also adult fantasy. And then adult fantasy goes to here. This book right here. But these last 3 books that I have in the adult fantasy section, they don't have spice in them at all. Like, not a single spice. It's implied, but that's it. Like, it still counts as an adult book. That's why I have it in the adult section. It has adult themes. So then we have my contemporary romance section. And then we have dark romance. Starts right here. And then on this third shelf, you can't really see that well, I have adult romance, which goes directly into young adult. I don't read that much young adult anymore. So then we have another section for my horror and thriller books. And then on the bottom shelf is like, I don't know how to explain those books. Those are like non-reading books, I guess. They're pretty big, so they're on the bottom shelf. So let's try and figure out a way I'm going to do it. Should I do this by series? How I have these on my shelf? I think I will. I think I will do it that way. Yeah, I should probably pull up a chair or something, because I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Okay, so I am actually just gonna go and start showing you by series. I have my shelves organized by series and also how many books I have in that series. But in the beginning, I have hardcover books. The reason why Fourth Wing is special because I have like 3 copies of it. So anyway, here is the regular version, regular hardback. Here is the paperback version. I prefer paperbacks. And also here is the special edition of Fourth Wing as well. Here is Iron Flame. We have Iron Flame. We have the paperback version of Iron Flame. And also we have the special edition of Iron Flame. And here is the only book I have of Onyx Storm. Right here. And it's the special edition. I will only get the regular hardcover if the paperback comes out. So once the paperback version comes out, I will indeed get the regular hardcover. Here are the rest of my hardcover books. So we have Anathema, which I have not read yet. When the Moon Hatched, I have read it. Absolutely loved it. Book 2 comes out in May. I have the special edition of On the Wings of Blood, and also the second book I just got recently, The Bond That Burns. I like the second books a lot better, actually. So, and then we also have Fear the Flames, and also Wrath of the Dragon. These are 2 of the same books, 2 of the same series. So, that's pretty much what I have in hardcover. Okay, so next I have on my shelf is an author named Rebecca F. Kenny. She writes retellings, and I have 8 of her books. 2 of them are series. So here is the first series. I have A Court of Sugar and Spice. Her second book is A Court of Hearts and Hunger. Her third book is A City of Emeralds and Envy. And then I also have a little novella, this is the smallest book I have on my shelf. And also here is the 4th book in the series. So, lots of retellings. I can't really go into it, but there's a lot. So now, also in that world, I have 3 books right here. And it's all based around Christmas time. So, A Haunt So Wild and Cool is based off of A Christmas Carol. A Heart So Cold and Wicked is based off of Krampus. And also, this is the most recent one from literally this past November. A Heist for Filthy Rivals. These are all in the same world. It has connected characters in it, and I can't wait for the 4th book coming out this year. I'm so excited. I already know who's going to be in the 4th book. And by the way, these are all romance, fantasy romance. So, and with smut. Yeah. So, retellings as in this is from A Christmas Carol, as I just said. So you can imagine how that goes. This is Krampus, A Romance of Krampus. And then this is based off of Home Alone and Die Hard. Very interesting, by the way. It wasn't an amazing book, but I thought it was pretty fun to read. Definitely very, very fun. But her other books, like A Court of Sugar and Spice I just talked about, that is a Nutcracker and Sugar Plum Fairy. The second book is based off of Alice in Wonderland. The third book is based off of a mixture of Wicked and also The Wizard of Oz. The 4th book is apparently based off of a Snow Queen. I'm not familiar with that story at all, but yeah, all in the same universe. It is all connected. I've also read another book of hers, which is called The Sea Witch. It's not on my shelf. I literally just, it was the first book I read for this year. And that was a Little Mermaid retelling. So if you are into retellings of a lot of them are Disney related. So if you want a spicier version of retellings, this is the author. This is the author to read. I'm telling you, this is so good. The next series I have, pretty much that's very connected, is A Crowns of Nyaxia book by Carissa Broadbent. She has 6 books out. I don't have the 6th one, unfortunately. Or is it 1, 2, 3? Yeah, I don't have the 6th one, unfortunately, because it's not out in paperback. I prefer paperbacks. I don't really like hardcovers that much. If I get the first book in hardcover, then I will get it, but most of the time I will grab a paperback. So anyway, here is the first book. I have it all in order too. So this is like the second biggest series I have on my bookshelf. So her first book was The Serpent and the Wings of Night. This was the first one. This was the second series I dived into after Fourth Wing. And this was advertised to me as a mixture of Twilight and Hunger Games, and I think that's exactly what I got. And I loved it. And it was very, very good. Her second book, though, I actually read it out of order, unfortunately, was The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. I read, this is thick, so I wasn't a big fan of this book. I still gave it like a 4-star. I actually liked the first one a lot better, only because of the plot twist at the end of book 1. So I was very bitter in the beginning of the book, unfortunately. So then after that, I read Six Scorched Roses. This is a very short book. I found this in an independent bookstore in Brooklyn, and it's actually signed by her. So this is a small, like 100 or so, maybe 200 pages novella by 2 characters in the book. They appeared in the second book. I read this afterwards. It didn't really ruin it for me, but you are supposed to read this in between the first 2 books, and I did not do that. I didn't know. I just didn't know, so oh well, whatever. So then after that, I was told, no, actually I read this one next. The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. This is based off of a character from the first 2 books. She goes off on her own and she finds her own story. This story is so, oh my god, this was one of my favorite books of 2025, I think. Was it? Yeah, next to Fourth Wing. This was so, no, 2024 I read this. I read this in 2024. It was so good. I was so heartbroken. And I just loved it. And then after that, I read Slaying the Vampire Conqueror. I was told I have to read this book before her second book, the Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk. I think is the second book in this little duet. So I didn't really like this book. I gave this about a 3.5 stars, I think. 3 or 3.5 stars. It wasn't my favorite. I don't know. There was just something about their story that I just didn't connect with it very well. It just didn't do it for me, unfortunately. It wasn't as good as these 2 characters. So anyway, yeah, I am waiting for the 6th book to come out in paperback. I'm guessing it's gonna come out sometime this year. I have no idea when, but I will be patiently waiting. Also patiently waiting for this book to come out in paperback. I think it's been announced, I just don't know when it's coming out, but I am patiently waiting because I am going to donate this hardcover book and then I'm going to keep the paperback version. Same thing with Six Scorched Roses. Patiently waiting for paperback. I just prefer it, okay? I just prefer it. Everyone has their preferences and when it comes to their books. Some people like special editions. I'm not like obsessed about them. I will get them occasionally if I have to, or if I really like the book I will get them, but it's just not a priority personally. So anyway, let's move on to the second shelf of my fantasy romance. We are now going to move on to books that I have 4 of in the series. So the first series I want to talk about is the Gods and Monsters series by Amber V. Nicole. So the first book is the Book of Azrael. This was fun. This was definitely a fun series, but not really. Once it got going, I was like, oh, this is not fun anymore. Her second book is, this is chonky, by the way, The Throne of Broken Gods. Oh, this is my favorite one, I think, but it was this was powerful. This was insane. And then the third book is The Dawn of the Cursed Queen. It wasn't my favorite, I can tell you that much. And then here is her latest book that just came out this past October, The Wrath of the Fallen. Yeah, this is also another chunky one, by the way. Yeah, I don't know why her books are so chunky. 5th book comes out I'm hoping the end of this year. I am not excited about what's about to happen. Apparently it's planned for 7 books. And if this is what's happening 4 books in, What's about to happen? I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions. Okay, so this one is by an indie author. Her name is Krista Street. She has a lot of connected characters in her series. She's got like 4 other series that I have not read, but this was the first one I picked up. It's called The Court of Winter. Right here. Unfortunately, these books are only available on Amazon. A lot of the books I have are available on Amazon, but they're not available in stores. Like they're indie published. So I read this series because I was in a winter mood, and then I saw the cover. I was like, Court of Winter, I'm gonna read it. So I read it last year in January. So it's been a year since I've read these books. So it's got fairies in it. It's very easy plot, and that's why I really liked it. The spice doesn't truly happen until book 3, and it was definitely very slow in the beginning, and I really enjoyed it. Like if you are just like a beginner reader of like plot, you don't want to have too much plot into it, or like if it's not too complicated, this is definitely something that's not too complicated that I recommend. And same thing for the next series. I'm sorry, I forgot to go over the books in this series. That's my fault. So we have A Court of Winter, Thorns of Frost, Wings of Snow is my favorite in the series, and then Crowns of Ice is where it wraps up. Not my favorite in the series, but it's still important. I get it. You know, that's pretty much all I have to say. Okay, so this literally is my favorite series that I have on my shelf. Like one of them, top 4 at least, when it comes to the fantasy realm. This is an author named Marion Blackwood I discovered on Instagram or Threads. I don't remember, but I read the first book in November of 2024, and it's got fae and dragon shifters. Very exciting. She comes out with a book every 4 months, so I have the first 4 books already. The last and final book of the series comes out February 23rd. I talked about a book that I'm really excited for February 23rd. It is her book. So we have Empire of Flame and Thorns. The second book is my favorite. We have Throne of Ice and Blood. The third book is A Court of Lies and Deceit. And then the fourth book is Realm of Wind and Vines. That one I just read this past October. So the last book in the series of War of Fire and Fury, I believe. Yeah, I think it's like a tongue twister of a title, but I'm very excited for the last book, and it's also getting picked up by a traditional publisher, so it's going to be in like bookstores like Barnes and Noble. So I wanted to make sure that I got all of the indie covers, because the cover is changing, by the way. So the last and final book will only be available for a month, so I have to make sure when it comes out, I have to buy it like the day it comes out. Like I have to order it. I can't pre-order it right now. Very annoying, but this series I totally recommend. It doesn't have too much spice, but it has a decent plot line where it's just very interesting and easy to understand. But yes, it is 5 books, and it's going to be completed February 23rd. So I'm so excited. Like, I'm so excited to finish this, and I'll have all 5 books. Ugh. And now we are going to move on to books that I have less of in the series, like 3 books, 2 books. So that's not going to take too much time, so that's exciting. Okay, so the next books I have on my shelf are books that I have 3 of or 2 of, and I don't have that many. So first we're going to talk about this series, my absolute favorite. No, I think I like this more than Fourth Wing, just saying. And that is Blood and Steel by Helen, I cannot pronounce her last name, Scherer. Helen Scherer. It's Blood and Steel. So I only have the first 2 books. I got these for Christmas. I don't remember who got them for me. It was either my best friend or my sister-in-law. I don't remember, unfortunately. So I only have the first 2 books. There are 4 books in total in this series specifically. It is The Legends of Desmar, and there's 4 books, and also there is also a novella book, which is a standalone book that is within the series. It's called Slaying the Shadow Prince, and I think it's, yeah, Slaying the Shadow Prince, I believe it's called. Yes, wasn't my favorite in the series, but very important to the story still. And then the second part of the series, which happens about 5 years after the events of book 4 in this first series, we have this world, which is in the same world, it's just years later. And that is the Ashes of Desmar. And it revolves around 2 other characters in the book. But unfortunately, my husband got me book 3. So I actually have to get the first 2. I'm not going to fault him for this because he didn't read properly, and that's not his fault. I just found it really funny, and you know, he was just trying to support me for Christmas, and I really appreciate it. Even though he got me the 3rd book, he was trying. I get it. He was trying, and I'm not going to fault him for that. But, oh yeah, I didn't show the 2nd book of this series. The 2nd book is Vows and Ruins. This actually ruined me. The ending of this book, by the way. So, yeah, this ruined me. But my favorite book in the series is book 3, which is Fate and Furies, which I don't have, unfortunately. So, next paycheck, I will be getting the next 2. And then possibly, I pretty much am missing 5 books of the series, so I will be getting those books. Probably next paycheck. But not right now. I just can't. I can't be spending any more money, unfortunately I am. Okay, so these next books, oh my god, these are my actually top 2 favorite books on my shelf. Like, if I were to grab 2 books in emergency, these are the 2 books that I would be grabbing. Like, okay, maybe like there's like 5 books I would probably grab, but these 2 are one of them. We have Phantasma by Kaylee Smith and then Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. So book 3 comes out, no idea when, but it was announced, called Daemonica. I'm very excited. Book 1, oh my god, it's based in Louisiana, by the way. I believe it's based off of New Orleans. It's very like gothic, and it's very it's pretty much called like Wicked Games. It's like, it has a very like fun theme to it, but it's very gothic, and I have to admit that the spice is very good in this one. Ooh, it's steamy. I love it. Oh, I love it. 2nd book was my favorite book of 2025, Enchantra. It's based off of her sister, like the FMC's sister from the 1st book. She actually goes to Italy and discovers, she was pretty much trying to learn about her father, and it was very interesting. She discovers a family instead, and she falls in love with one of them. Well, marriage of convenience is the trope we can use. She has to marry one of them as a, convenience, It's like, all right, sure, I'll save you and I'll marry you, whatever. But it's, oh my god. The last few chapters of this book was actually heartbreaking, and it made me cry. It was, I don't even want to. I haven't reread it yet, but I just know it's going to make me cry. Eventually, I am going to do a reread of these 2 books. I'm not ready. Oh my god. But I'm so excited for book 3. I'm guaranteed I'm going to love it. I won't ever shut up about these 2 books. These are so good. These next 2 is a duology by E.M. Rinaldi. She is an indie published author. I discovered her books on Threads, and this book is called Bond the Nightmare. Now, she literally says it on Threads. The plot is spice. It kind of is. There is a little bit of a plot in there, though. There is like a secret society in there, and it's actually pretty interesting, but it's not really, you don't really get to see a lot of it until the 2nd book. So it's pretty much trying to bond with your mate. Yeah, literally it. The 2nd book is called Siren Bound. This just came out last year, and It is pretty much her roommate and his cousin from the first book. And she turns to a siren, but ends up being deathly afraid of water because she almost drowned. So, and she's afraid of being a siren. So, it's like a really good story about overcoming your fears and pretty much, again, falling in love with your mate. And it's literally like in the story. So, I completely recommend these two books, and yes, they are pretty spicy, both of them. So, yes. Okay, so all of these books are categorized by, they have one book out, like they have another book out, but I don't have it yet on my shelf. Or I don't have them out in paperback yet, and I'm waiting for the paperback release. So, let's do this quickly then. Okay, The Stars Are Dying by Chloe C. Peñaranda? Can't pronounce it. I actually have not read this, but I know there was a second or third book. I saw it in Barnes & Noble. I got this because it is on my TBR. So, I have not read this one yet. So, next book I have is Lore of the Wilds by Annalise Brana. This is a duology. The first book, I wasn't a big fan of the second book, but I read the second book last year, and it was very good. It was very, very good. It was immediately better than the first book. I can't deny it that this was just boring for me, but I really wanted to read it. The paperback comes out next sometime this year. I think it comes out in June. I think. I could be completely wrong, but I'm very excited regardless. Okay, next book I have is Feybound by Sarah El Arifi, and I read the second book, which is Cursebound. It wasn't that good. I'm not gonna lie. The second book is coming out paperback very soon. I think it comes out this month or in a couple months. I honestly, like I said, I don't remember when it comes out, but it is coming out in paperback soon. So I'm looking forward to buying it in stores. The third book comes out in August. I am so excited for that. Okay, this is a great book. This is chonky. The second book is actually coming in the mail this week. Like, coming from the mail this week. So I am very excited to get it. It's called Cinnamon Rolls and Villainy by Shantae A. Campbell. It's got a lot of queer characters in this book. It is very good. I cannot recommend this enough. The second book I read last year in November or December, called Chocolate Pudding and Wicked Queens. Another fantastic book. I cannot wait to get it in the mail. I have to figure out when that's coming. I don't remember when. It's coming either today or the next few days. But I'm very excited. Oh my god. And the last book in this category is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I'm actually reading the second book right now on my Kindle, Brimstone. I saw it actually got a cover reboot, like, because a lot of people complained about this cover. I'm pretty sure I heard that it's somewhat AI, but I personally don't mind this cover. I know it's like not everyone's favorite, but honestly, I also read this in 2024, and I didn't know that it was indie published at first. So I read that, and then I saw it in stores. I was like, what? Why is everyone discovering this now? I read this months ago, and I didn't realize it got picked up by a traditional publisher. So I was very excited, actually. So I bought the book. So, but, yeah, I'm currently reading the second book. It's okay. It's a little slow right now. I'm about 33% into it. Like I said, it's okay. It hasn't gotten to, like, something incredible right now. I do like this book a lot, though. But the second book, I'm just kind of meh right now. So I hope it picks up soon, because, oh my god, it is slow. These last two books that I am showing you are books on my shelf that are the first in a series, but the second books have not come out yet, like, at all. They're coming out this year. So the first book is Metal Slinger by Rachel Schneider. Yeah. So this book is coming out in, when was it? I think it's coming out in June. Yeah, it was May, but then it got pushed to June, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but I read the first book in January of last year. Oh my god. The last 2 chapters are crazy. The plot twist I was not expecting. This was probably the best plot twist I've ever seen in my life. So yes, I do recommend it, even though it is heartbreaking. But I'm very excited for the second book. Okay, so the second book that I have right here is called Spark the Flames by Ivy Asher. Sorry, I just had a coughing fit, so I'm still recovering from that. That was really strange. So the second book just got announced, called I think it's called Ignite. Oh my god, I don't remember. Ignite the Flames, I think, or something like that. It's something. It's something along those lines. But the second book comes out in July as well. So I am super excited for the second book. I've been waiting. I read it last year, I believe in March or May. I don't remember, but I'm very much looking forward to these two, to this book. These two, yeah, I've been waiting for the second books to be like announced. Like they weren't even announced. That's how long I've been waiting. It's so annoying. So now we're going to move on to standalones. Okay, so these are the last books I have in my adult with spice category. So these are all standalones. Like this is it. This is the story, and that's it. So I have Fire on Fire. Very short book. It's by Siren Farengray. Underrated. Very, very short book, and it's short and sweet, but it's to the point. And yes, it is pretty spicy, and it's pretty good. If you are looking for like a short read, it's like maybe what, like 200 pages or so, right? Let me check for you. It's 217 pages in total. That's it. It's fantastic. Absolutely loved it. No notes. 4 stars, I think. 4.5. This one I just read last year. Like, the end of last year, recently. So, Our Vicious Oaths by N.E. Davenport is so good. It does have fae in it, but they're all black characters. And is written by a black author. So, if you are looking for a black fae book, this is it right here. But also, Lore of the Wilds is similar to that, but it's fae and... It is fae and human. Written by a black author as well. So, but this one was very good. This is very spicy. It is like, yeah, the plot is pretty crazy. And the MMC is very questionable. But he grows on you towards the end, of course, right? They always grow on you. It's always the villains. It's always the villains you end up falling in love with. This one is very sweet. This is Honey Witch by Sydney Shields. This is a sapphic book. Witches. Ugh. Oh my god, this is actually a very sad book. This was very sad. Oh my gosh. It feels comfy cozy for like the first like couple books, and then and then it talks about grief. Then it talks about like war of some sort, and then it talks about very sad love story and sacrifices, and wow, yeah, it's, ooh, this is a hard one. Very unexpected and also misleading on the cover. The next book was, I categorized it as fantasy romance because really this is like a thriller romance. So this is very interesting to me. This is Grave Matter by Karina Howell. Karina Howley? I don't know how to pronounce that, but oh my gosh. This one came out of left field for me. I didn't really know what was going on, but oh my god, the story is actually crazy. I don't even want to spoil it for you, but this is the most crazy plot twist books that I've like it actually messed up my brain a little bit. And that's why I gave it a 5 stars. It is so good. Oh my god. The spice is pretty good too. But oh my god. I will recommend this book forever at this point. And this is also my favorite standalone book ever, next to Grave Matter. Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. Notice how I have 2 books of her not next to each other. This is why. It is paperback. This is the indie one too. The hardcover just got released with like, it's like all pretty edges and stuff like that, but I don't want it. I want this paperback. But oh my gosh, this is so good. This is very good. It's dark academia. It's very mysterious. Out of college. Questionable romance. You got professor and student in there. Very good. Very, very good. Oh my gosh, this is... I love this book so much. This is a lot of people's favorites by Carrie Lake as well. This is like up there. I have a feeling this, and I haven't read Anathema yet, but I just know I'm gonna love that book. I hear that book and this book are like top favorites for a lot of people. So I can't even begin to express how much I love this book as well. This is like up there for me. Definitely top 10 for me. But alright, let's move on to the last 3 fantasy books I have. These 3 books are the last of my fantasy adult section. So, I put this... these books are last on my shelf in the fantasy section because they don't really have any adult spice in them. It is implied, but they aren't graphically written on the page. So, this book is The Princess Knight by Kate Jacobs. This is her debut book, and also she's a local author of mine. So, she's from Long Island. And when I discovered that she's from Long Island, I had to obviously support her right away. And this is a Legally Blonde inspired book. And I liked it, but I wasn't in love with it. I think I rated this about like a 3.5 stars, which is not a bad rating for me personally. Like, I thought it was good. I thought it was good, but it wasn't great for me personally. But I thought it was a pretty good story, honestly. So now, the next book I have is The Phoenix Keeper by S.A. McLean. So, this is another sapphic book, and it's zookeepers, but it's like fantasy. There's like dragons, and there's phoenixes, and it's really cool. It's pretty much falling in love with your rival, but there is a plot in there. It's got a couple of adult themes that happen in this book, which is why it's in the adult section and not in the YA section. But I love this book. This was pretty cool. Like, if you want like fantasy, but it's like not, but like it's zookeeping, but it's fantasy and it's really whimsical. So I liked it. If you want to talk about whimsical, we got The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. This is really pretty on the sides too. So she is also a local author for me. She's also located on Long Island. I had no idea. So she has another book out actually. It's called The Enchanted Greenhouse, which is in the same world. I'm waiting for the paperback release, of course, right? So I want to try and see if I can go to like a book release at one of the independent bookstores on Long Island. I think she did that with this book. So I am gonna see if she's going to do like a signing for her second book when it comes out on paperback. So I am very excited. But I really liked it. It's very whimsical. It's very sad. And there is a romance, but it's like not important really. It's just there. She just happens to fall in love with this guy. And the most that they do in the book is kiss. I'm not exaggerating. It's probably implied that something happened, but that's it. Like that's literally it. And that's why it's still in the adult section of my bookshelf. So now we can finally move on from fantasy and go to my contemporary romance book section. So these books that I'm about to talk about is contemporary romance. Like, it's realistic romance that happens in like the real world. There's no fantasy elements in it, like at all. Like it can definitely happen in the real world. So this author is Anna Huang. Like these next three series, and they're all connected. Some of the characters pop up in the series, which is really cool. So the first series I'm going to talk about that I just kind of grabbed was The Striker and The Defender. This is a soccer romance. Like these, like the main characters, the male characters, the male love interest, if you want to say, they're soccer players, or football if you're from a different part, if you don't say soccer. But this was my first sports romance. I was kind of I was kind of leaning away from sports romances for some reason. I know hockey is a big one, but for me, I don't like hockey and I wanted to move to something else. So I'm glad this was different, and I'm glad it was pretty good. The third book is actually coming out in October. Yeah, we have the Striker, we have the Defender. The third book is called The Keeper. I can't wait for the third book. And it's green, by the way. So this is purple, this is blue, the third book is green. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Okay, so these from her world are, this is a billionaire romance. Like, these are rich people. Rich people, like very rich. Or one of them is at least rich. So it is based off of the 7 Deadly Sins. So this book is called The King of Wrath. This is the first book I ever read from Anna Huang. Like, I was supposed to read the other books, like the Twisted series, which I'm about to show in a minute, but I did not. I read these books first. So King of Wrath is the first one. The second one, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Yeah, that works. The first one is King of Wrath. The second one is King of Pride, which is so far my favorite. The third book is King of Greed, which is my least favorite. The fourth book is King of Sloth. And the fifth book is King of Envy. So, the fifth book is King of Gluttony, is coming out in April. And then the last book in this series, specifically, King of Lust, is coming out next year, as in 2027. So, and it's all, the characters are all connected, by the way. They're all in the same world. It's pretty cool how some of the characters pop up from the other books. It's very interesting to me. I absolutely love it. So now these next 4 are going to be still by Anna Huang. These are the first series that she came out with. They're not as good as the Kings, the 7 Deadly Sins ones, but they're still good in their own right. Like, it got better throughout the series. So the first book is Twisted Love. I loved it at first, but then I realized the books got better. Like, I thought I loved it, but I really just did not. It's probably my it's not my least favorite, but it's down there. Twisted Games is the next book. This is my least favorite of the series. I just don't know why. It's just something that I don't like about it. I have no idea why, but it's probably my least favorite. Now we're about to talk about my favorite too. Twisted Hate is my favorite. Very controversial, but it is my favorite. And I don't know why, but, and then there's Twisted Lies. This was pretty good. This was like, I kind of switch back and forth between which one I like the most, but most of the time it is Twisted Hate. But Twisted Lies is pretty good. I like the way it just ties them together, and then at the end they all like hang out, and it's kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, that is all of my Anna Huang books. Yeah, I have a lot of her books. As you can tell, she's one of my favorite authors, like my favorite contemporary romance authors. I don't read contemporary romance that often, but she's up there for me. So now these last 2 books are contemporary romance, but they're not Anna Huang books, but I just read them. So this is Outdrawn by Deanna Gray. She is a Black author. She wrote a sapphic book. She's bisexual, she's a lesbian, and it's very good. And yes, these have spice in them. Yep. This is up there. This is very good. I don't like how the book is kind of like slightly damaged, but it's not that bad. It's really not that bad, but indie published, by the way. Only available that I found on Amazon. I don't want to shop on Amazon, but sometimes I have to for these books. Oh well, but I recommend these books. Very good. Okay, next one I have not read. First Time Caller by B.K. Borson. I have not read this book at all, but it is on my TBR, like my current TBR, so I hope it gets picked eventually, so I can read it. And then I won't have to read on my Kindle. I can just read it on physical copy. I actually read more on my Kindle than physical copies, actually. I don't know, but okay. These next few books are questionable, and I'm sorry. Actually, I changed my mind. I am not sorry. These were a great time. These were just a fantastic great time, and I'm obsessed with these books. So, okay. So this is a trilogy. This is Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. Absolutely loved it. We have Leather and Lark. This was okay, not my favorite, but this one's my favorite. Scythe and Sparrow. Yeah, these are dark romances. This is, I would say, it's like a mixture of like comedy dark romance, dark rom-com. These are very questionable. Like, there's a lot of like dark things that happen in these books. So, warning, there's trigger warnings in this series. Like, there's like a long page of trigger warnings, but not really that long, but it's something. Yeah, it's something. I can tell you that much. These books. I had to get the special edition hardcover because of how much I love the series. So, we have Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. This is my favorite dark romance. This is the first one I ever read, and I love it. I actually listened to it on audiobook because that was recommended to me first. Don't read it. Don't actually read it. Audiobook is very good. But I absolutely love this book, and I had to get it in the special hardcover edition, so I have to get the special edition in paperback. I missed out on it in Barnes & Noble, so I now have to buy it. I now have to buy it on Pango Books, like a used copy, but it's okay. It's fine. This is the second book, Caught Up, that came out last year. It wasn't as good as the first one, but it was still pretty good. It was a good time. The third book comes out in March. I'm so excited. I don't know how many books she's gonna come out with for this world, but count me in. Yeah, I'm locked in. I can't deny that I am obsessed with these books. I love these. They're very questionable, as I said, but there's something about them that I really love. Now, really, these next couple dark romance books are questionable, but I still read them. So, these next 7 books are in the same universe, and it's dark romance. They're very questionable, but I read them, I was curious, and I don't regret it. Some books are better than others. Apparently you need to have a taste for her books because they're very questionable. So, this is the Legacy of God series by Rena Kent. God of Malice is not my favorite, but it's questionable. God of Pain is up there for me, but it's not my favorite. Like, it's like, I think I gave it a 4 stars, but I might take it back because now I see the problem. I see the problem now. I get it, but I think it was very intense, and I still liked it. I don't know. God of Wrath is one of my favorites in the series. I don't know what it was. I think I just like the unhinged ones. I think he was the unhinged one. No, actually the first one is. Actually, they all are. All the men in this series are all unhinged. All of them. It's crazy. Why are they all crazy? Rena Kent's books, all of their parents. She wrote a book about all of their parents. I haven't read them. I don't think I want to. I'm happy I started off with this. But I see why they're all freaking crazy because their parents are crazy. But this one's good. This is probably my second to least favorite, God of Ruin. I just don't like the MMC. I'm sorry, I just don't like him. Nothing. I like the girl, just don't like the guy. This is the best one, God of Fury. It is MM, male, yes. It's just about awakening and pretty much learning to love yourself, and your past does not define you, and it's very eye-opening, and it made me cry. This is a dark romance that made me cry. Yeah, this is it. And it was just so much fun to read, but it gets dark pretty fast. And this is the last book of the series, God of War. I don't like the MMC, but the girls, book, like the girl character at FMC, she went through a journey, like a very big mental health journey, and it's pretty sad. And I'm not gonna lie, she was kind of annoying in the other books. I think that's why I kind of dreaded reading her book, but I still read it, and a lot of the it was really hard to get through, but in the end, I'm happy of how it ended. But now, so this one, Kiss the Villain, is based off of one of the main characters from the other books. Like, he's mentioned, but he didn't have a book, and she made the book. It's also MM as well, and the other guy that's not from this universe, he's brand new to the world, and now we have the second book coming out, Hunt the Villain, that's coming out in March as well. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Mhm. Mhm. I got the special edition just because. I don't know. I just got it. It was there on the shelf, like at Barnes and Noble, and I just bought it. It was there. I usually don't, like I said, I don't usually buy special editions, but it was there. So, but this was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Yes, it was pretty dark, but I'm excited to read the next two books in this series. So I think it's gonna be a trilogy. So I'm very excited. We are finally moving on to young adults. I don't read that much young adult anymore. Like I said, I have moved on to adult books, and it's just better for me. I'm really picky about my young adult books now, but the way that this young adult book changed my absolute life, Legendborn by Tracy Dion, it pretty much helped me it helped me learn more about grief, and it helped me with my own grief as well. So this is one of my top 5 favorite books. Like, it is up there for me, and it has changed me for the better and how I look at grief forever. And I cannot thank this author enough for helping me realize that, helping me not destroy myself in my grief, and that's why I am the way I am now. So I know it's heavy, I'm sorry, but I got the special edition because of how much I loved it. So the second book is Bloodmarked. I like this a lot, actually. This was also another 5 stars for me. I just like the MMC in this book a lot better than the actual MMC. It's a love triangle, but I just like him better. I got the special edition for that book as well, and it's the red. Wait, it's not showing. I'm sorry. Here it is. Yeah, this is the second edition, the special edition of the second book. The third book is out. I bought it just because I want it on my shelf, and that is Oathbound. I am waiting for the paperback to come out, and that's coming out this year. I'm very excited. Once I get the paperback edition, I am going to be donating this because I don't need the hardcover. Once I get the paperback, I am keeping that on my shelf, preferably. So, and I'm not going to get the hardcover for the other books either. I just want the paperback more because I have the first 2 books in paperback. But this one was not my favorite in the series, but I am very much looking forward to the 4th book. Hasn't been announced yet, though. So I'm waiting. We're all waiting, I think. But yeah, let's talk about the last young adult books I have on my shelf. Okay, so these last few books are a mixture of, I didn't know where to categorize it, and also young adult. So, okay, so these 2 books are by an author that I actually knew her, and we actually did martial arts together, like over a decade ago. And her mom on Facebook was like, she wrote books. So I'm like, oh my god, I have to get them. So I bought them. This was her debut book, Rose Colored California. It's pretty short, and this is her fantasy debut called Springhaven. I don't know if there's a second book yet. I have to see, but I'm very much looking forward to it. I think there's gonna be a second book. I'm not entirely sure, but I have to look at Amazon again to see if she has any more books. So I am looking forward to it. So the next book I have is The Handmaid's Tale, of course. So I don't know where to categorize this one. I read it years ago. It's been a while. I haven't watched the show. I probably should. But this is a must that everybody has to read. Unfortunately, we are like heading down this path, and that's really scary. And we shouldn't be going down this path. And yeah, so that's scary. Okay. This is a fantastic and beautiful duology. It's Asian inspired, specifically Chinese mythology. So we have Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. I loved this. I love these books. And then with the second book is Heart of the Sun Warrior. Very heartbreaking ending, by the way. But really like both of them. Really just heartbreaking in general. So I am I just don't know why she just broke our hearts like that. And also, I wasn't expecting who she would end up with. I wasn't expecting it, but I'm okay with her decision. I'm pretty content with it. The last of the young adult category I have is Blood at the Root by Ladarian Williams. This is like a mixture of new adult and also young adult, because while there is implied that there is spice involved, but the language of it, the character is 17 years old and he uses adult language. So I think you have to be at least 17 to read this book. At least. Because, it is a black teenager in the South, and it's magical. Also, there's magic involved in it, and it's very good. I recommend it. It's just I don't recommend anybody under the age of like 17 to read this, or 16 to read this. I think you need to like be older, and like an older teenager to read this. I know this is categorized as young adult, but this is a lot of adult language. I was very tempted to put this in the adult category section, but I did not. So I obeyed the rules and put it in the young adult section. So anyway, the next books I have, pretty much I'm going to show the last books on my shelf, and that is horror and thriller books. I don't have a lot of, so they're just kind of standing up like that. So anyway, let's do it. I have not read a lot of horror and thriller books, but this is pretty much it that I have read. I haven't read all of these, by the way, so I can't really give you a yes or no if I recommend them, but The Haunting of William Thorne by Ben Alderson. This counts as a romance too, but it is horror, and it's very sad. So I was not expecting the end, and I am traumatized. So thank you to this author, Ben Alderson, by the way, and it's gay. So Bunny by Mona Awad. Apparently there's a second book. Very short, by the way. I haven't read it yet. Hopefully I will soon. Immortal Dark by, I cannot pronounce this author's name, I'm sorry, Tyjust Gurma. I heard this was vampires and also dark academia. So I was like, hell yeah, sign me up. Haven't read it yet. Craven Manor by Darcy Coates. I love a good haunted house. So I read this in 2024, I think. This was like a 3.5 stars. I liked it. It was pretty good. I think I recommend it. Yeah, why not? Blood on Her Tongue by Joanna Van Veen. This is considered a sapphic, but I don't think it is. Only because the one girl is possessed. So it's just it's taking place in like the old ages, like in the 1800s, I think, or 1887. And it's very creepy. I don't know how to explain this one, but the edges are cool. So read at your own risk, I guess. Okay, the Reformatory by Tanana Rivdu. Haven't read it, but it's based off of the South. I'm pretty sure. But I heard it's very, very good, and a lot of people have recommended this book, so I think it's taking place on a plantation. I think. I could be wrong, but I'm not entirely sure, but I am looking forward to reading this one. Okay, this is a thriller. This is Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby. This is the first book I read. This was pretty crazy. Yeah, I felt horrible for this family. It's pretty sad. It's realistic thriller, and it gets deep. I haven't read his other 2 books yet that I have, Razorblade Tears and also All the Sinners Bleed. So I haven't read those books at all yet. So I can't tell you review on them. I'm sorry. Okay, these last 2 books though, they're hardcover, and I 100% recommend them. Don't Want the Forest In by C.G. Drews. I think this should not be a young adult book because it is botanical horror. This is very, very good. This is also, I guess, considered MM romance, but not really. It's not really a part of the plot, but it is very crazy. It's crazy. And so is this one, Hazelthorn by C.G. Drews, and it has a lot of it's got a lot of autistic stuff involved as well. So I think it's a good look into being autistic, and like talks about like meltdowns and stuff like that, and it's very good. And this author I would 100% recommend if you want to get into horror. But oh my god, it is. Whew. This author is making their adult debut in March, and I'm so excited. And also, it's making another young adult horror similar to this in October, but it's like based off of the sea and the plants in the sea, and ooh, I think it's got something to do with like coral and stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm very much excited for that. Very much excited. So I will not be showing the rest of my books on down because they're not really anything. But but that's pretty much everything. I guess I will also show one last thing, and that is my TBR jar. So every time I don't really know what to read, I come up to this list. I started out with 105. I've read 25 books so far, and I have everything written down in like number form. So I don't actually know. I shake it up. I have it in like a TBR jar. And I just pick a number, and I was like, oh, that's what I gotta read. That's pretty much it. I have them also color coordinated by genre. Like fantasy romance, dark fantasy romance, dark romance, contemporary romance, LGBTQ+, and also young adult. I have 2 TBRs though, but I'm mainly focusing on the first one so I can get all this done. So yeah. I have book 26 picked out already, and I haven't gotten a chance to read it yet because I have to read my current book, Brimstone by Kelly Hart. So I have to read that first because that's an anticipated book that I've been waiting for. Those are more of a priority first before I get to my TBR, unfortunately. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I have on my shelf. This is a long video, and I do apologize, so this is probably going to be majority of my vlog. I probably won't be showing anything else. So this is pretty much just me yapping about my books. If you enjoyed me talking about my books and want to continue my reading journey, I do have Goodreads, and I also have Storygraph. So if you want to follow me on those and see what I have on my TBR and also my reviews about a specific book, then you can go into my description below where you can see all of my social media links along with Goodreads and Storygraph. Okay, so unfortunately I had to move locations. We are no longer in front of my bookshelf, but my phone died and now I can't show you my bookshelf right now. So anyway, if you have any questions about any of my books, I do have a Goodreads and also a Storygraph, and you may follow me on there. And all the links will be in the description below if you are interested in anything like that. So, but yeah, that's pretty much everything on my shelf. I'm not going to show like the bottom shelf. It doesn't really, I don't think it really needs to be shown, honestly. But yeah, oh, this is my Kindle. I have my Kindle charging over here, but it's done anyway. So, but yeah, this is my Kindle. This is the case I have. Yeah, this is the Kindle Paperwhite. This is the Kindle Paperwhite, the newest edition, I think. I think it's the 12th gen. I have the very first one, which is crazy, and it's a lot smaller than this. So it's, or is it bigger? I don't know, but I do have the first one that I ever had still. It doesn't work anymore, so that's why I asked my husband, this is all I want for Christmas in 2024. Just get me a Kindle. And he did. So I just bought the case, and he's like, as long as you buy the case, I'm like, that's fine. You buy the Kindle, I buy the case. And I did. I was very excited. So anyway, I'm going to end off the video here, actually, because this is a very long vlog, because all I talked about was my books. So I didn't realize it would be that time consuming, so I do apologize, but if you have any other questions, you may comment down below, or if you have a book for me to recommend, comment down below. But also, as I said before, make sure you check out my Goodreads and my Storygraph to see if I've already read them, or I'll just say it in the comments or whatever if you recommend it. But yeah, just want to say thank you so much for watching the video. I do appreciate it, and hope you didn't mind me talking about books this time instead of crafting. I just haven't crafted in a couple days, and I just need a little bit of a break, but that's what vlogging is about. It can be about anything, really. It doesn't have to be about crafting for this. Even though I am a primarily crafting channel for vlogging, I just wanted to take a little break from that, and because I have a big project I'm going to be preparing for. Another big project to prepare for. Yay. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be working on that soon. Or you probably already have seen it. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I'm not entirely sure, but as at this moment, as I'm recording, I haven't done it yet. So I should really get started on it, but I need to give my voice a break, and maybe I will get some reading done. My voice is kind of raspy now because I've been talking too much. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you're curious about my other content, go to my channel. I have plenty of videos. I have crochet tutorials. I have vlogs. I have a lot of random stuff as well. So, and also, I will see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.